Oh, let me turn off my notifications. There we go.
All right, we're live. I'm just gonna send some links out real quick. I guess I'll go ahead and while I'm sending these out, let's do introduction stuff. Welcome to the 53rd monthly consecutive book club. We're talking about Christopher Moore's Shakespeare for Squirrels, which is actually the third in a trilogy. Well, didn't know that. That's interesting. Um, but this time last year, we read A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Mhm.
And, and I'm glad we did because that gave additional context. I wasn't really familiar with the story of A Midsummer Night's Dream, so I'm glad we went over that last year before we did Shakespeare for Squirrels. Joining me this evening, we have joining us for the second time, the great and powerful Miss Claudia Ann Knight is here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Always. Um, and you are the one who recommended it. So I'm really glad you did. It was a fun read. Not what I was expecting at all, really. Um, and then also joining us, we have Mr. David Penna. That's Knife back on Instagram. Um, Anything y'all want to promote or talk about? I know Miss Knight has some published books. Where is there anywhere people can get those?
I just have the one book right now. It's you can get from Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
remind me what the name of that one is.
uh, Black and Blue.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. And you can get that directly through Amazon.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Cool. Yeah, definitely go check that out if you're watching this.
I don't have anything to promote, but I will say I didn't know it was a trilogy until I finished reading it. Not that you really needed it. I think the fact that we read Midsummer was actually more important in context, and I did laugh multiple times.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily know it was a trilogy either when I first read it, but it does make me want to go back and read the other books too. So,
Hmm. Yeah, because what I
but
read,
not because I felt lost,
Yeah.
but just like, oh, I wonder what happened here.
yeah, because from what I read, each one is supposed to have like a main Shakespeare thing that it's like playing off of.
Hmm.
So like the first one is like King Lear, the second one is like something in Venice, and we haven't. I
Merchant of
don't
Venice.
think, yeah, and I don't think any of us have read or seen any of those, Alex. So we happen to get the one we have at least read before, whatever.
Yeah. Because that's Claudia also recommended Midsummer Night's Dream. And I remember you saying that if we were gonna do uh Shakespeare for Squirrels, maybe we start with A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I think that was a good call.
Hmm.
Um, which I mean, that's the first Shakespeare we've done on here. We've done some other classics, um, like, well, we've done, let's see, we did the Odyssey. That's probably the most adjacent. Um, and that we've done a few classics, but that was the first Shakespeare we've done. And if you're gonna read a Shakespeare, I think A Midsummer Night's Dream is probably the best because obviously these are for the stage, written as plays. So reading them is a little bit difficult. Moore even talks about in the afterword of Shakespeare for Squirrels that when you're reading A Midsummer Night's Dream, what's annoying about it is that there's multiple characters whose names start with H, like Helena and
Hermia.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
definitely thought that too. I was like, good grief.
yeah. So like if you know when it's on stage, you know, it's kind of easy to tell them apart because you're looking at different actors. But um that you can see how that'd be confusing reading it, which it was. I remember running into that last year when we were reading it. But that being said, it's still probably one of the better reads, I would imagine, as far as Shakespeare goes. I'm not entirely sure about that, um, but yeah, yeah. While it was important for us to read A Midsummer Night's Dream before we did Shakespeare for Squirrels, it's a lot less important than I thought it would be because
Yeah.
uh, calling it a retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream is not exactly right. It is so it borrows some characters, and that's about as far as the comparison goes, I would say. What do y'all think about that?
There are references to certain scenes,
Hmm.
with the Puck putting the potion in Demetrius's and Lysander's eyes. Um, Certain things like that. But yeah, no, it's a far cry from it. But I do feel like reading a Midsummer's Night Dream kind of gave you some basis of understanding. So
Yeah, like knowing who Puck is, knowing about Nick Bottom, so it's like you know him being a donkey isn't shocking because it's like you already know that's gonna happen. Oh, what happened to my camera? Can y'all still hear me?
We still hear
yes.
you.
Oh no.
Okay, there
Okay.
we go. Um, yeah, yeah. I guess you're right. There are certain parts that like you recognize from A Midsummer Night's Dream that happen in uh, Shakespeare for Squirrels, or they're referenced. Um, but I imagine like, and I guess tonally, uh, this is kind of what it would be like to read Shakespeare then, because that story is debaucherous and vulgar for the time that it was written, like end of what the in like 1595, something like that. So
Yeah, I would say 1500s, but I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't know like the exact
yeah,
year.
I think
Um,
it was like tail end of the 1500s. Yeah.
you know, I guess I don't know for sure, but I do kind of feel like back in that medieval Renaissance time, they were probably more of a vulgar
Mm,
when it came to like language and certain topics.
okay,
I tend to think they were a little more vulgar about things than we are today.
I gotcha. I just wonder how that. What does that actually sound like? I guess. Um, do you think? Do you think? Like if you take into the context of the times, do you think Shakespeare for Squirrels is more vulgar than Midsummer Night's Dream?
Hmm. Perhaps in a way, because I do feel like Christopher Moore is a little more explicit, where I feel like Shakespeare, it was kind of implied.
Mm, okay, yeah. I mean, that's definitely true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I didn't think about that, but you're probably right. They're probably way more vulgar in their language. I just kind of wonder what that actually looks like if you were to read something or hear people talk, like what would that actually sound like? Because I mean, I'm sure they had swear words, but you know, it's kind of like it makes me think of like you watch an old film and it's like, oh, this is so debaucherous. It's like, well, for the time, but that's
Mhm.
considered like pretty tame by like current standards, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but that's not to say that people then weren't vulgar. It's more like in the art, certain things were only certain kinds of things. You have censorship, I guess is what I'm saying. Only certain things are allowed on stage or on the page.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder about that. Um, maybe you're right that more is more more is more vulgar than Shakespeare. Um, maybe so. Um, but I think Shakespeare was pretty like edgy and controversial though, right? Like Midsummer Night's Dream was kind of like it's well, it's not that serious for one thing, but it's even kind of written in at the end of it that's like if these things offended you, well, just pretend that it was a dream. It didn't happen. Um,
Right.
yeah, I'm
Or
kind of
like
random. Any thoughts
or there was
about that?
there was like a funny bit when they were doing the play, and that one guy just kept reminding everybody that, oh no, this is safe for the family and kids. Like it's all, none of this is real. That's not a real moon. Don't be scared.
Yeah,
And that was kind of also in the Shakespeare one as well. They're like, oh, don't be scared. But I
yeah,
feel like they over dramatized that in Christopher Moore's book.
yeah. Um, yeah, I guess we could talk more about the comparisons between the two, or we could get more into Shakespeare for Squirrels itself. Um, I guess what I was really trying to get to about A Midsummer Night's Dream is I kind of feel like, and I could be way off the mark here, but I feel like Moore's the way this reads, the way Moore reads to a modern audience, I imagine that's what watching or reading Shakespeare would have been like then. Does that make sense?
To me, it does. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
It's
understanding
kind.
you now that you framed it that way.
Yeah. It's kind of like I guess what I'm saying is he might be more vulgar. That might be true, but it's tonally the same. Like this
Mhm.
level of ridiculousness and the type of comedy seems adjacent to that style. Does that how do y'all feel about that?
Yeah. I think I get you like how Christopher Moore appears to us, and his story would be similar to how Shakespeare would appear to the Elizabethans at that time.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially for this one, which Midsummer is like a funky story about little elves named Puck and donkey-headed guys and
Yeah.
just a bunch of like a whole cast of wacky characters. Oh, and like
Definitely the Amazons.
the Night King, the fucking yeah, everything. It's like all wacky,
Yeah.
and
Did y'all
especially if you're comparing it to like I guess most places in the time would have been like more historical, like
hmm. Yeah.
which I mean Shakespeare also has those or whatever. Like he still has those.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they say it's in Athens, but that's something more talked about in the afterword is like A Midsummer Night's Dream basically takes place in a fantasy world, even if they use real locations, because it doesn't resemble reality in any shape or form.
Yeah, it's a dream.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that, yeah, okay. That's thematically consistent. It's a dream. I didn't think about it like that.
I mean, it even the book even ends that way with like Puck wishing it all away, or like at least the memory of it. To everybody else, it's a dream.
Yeah. Um, do y'all have a favorite character?
I am kind of torn between Pocket and Cobweb, but if
Yeah.
I have to choose, I think it is Pocket. He's his sarcasm is just so spot on, you know.
Pocket of dog snogging. That's a great
Yeah,
name. Every time he said it, I thought that was funny.
we would probably have to read the first or second one to see where that name came from.
Oh, actually, I did look this up. So he was raised in a nunnery, and they talk
Mhm.
about this in the first book, apparently. Um, and the nunnery was in a place called Dog Snogging. So that's the name of the village he's from.
Okay, so it's not some random thing he made up. Like
Yeah.
his actual.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that he started with the name and then it's like, okay, well, that means he hails from dog snogging then. But and probably just started with the name because it sounded funny.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like creation wise? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I really like that name. Especially as like a protagonist, like as a lead character. That's a
Hmm.
really great name. He's
Well,
the perfect. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
now, who was your favorite character?
Um, Cobweb. Yeah. I fell for Cobweb.
Oh my
She
God,
she's great.
she is great.
Um, when they talked about like frolicking and like the fairies are always fucking constantly. But like what her and Pocket did was like it's special. And it was like one of the only parts in the book that um I it wasn't just funny to me. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, this is actually like just really good. It's like you're kind of like, oh, like that's
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. But well, I just liked it too when like she feeds him. She's like you want to have sex, and he's like no, and she's like, well, it's just common courtesy, if someone feeds you
Yeah, you.
that you, yeah,
Yeah.
that you, yeah. But yeah, no, when they kept saying frolic, I thought that's what they were talking about too, and that's what everyone assumes as well. And then you find, oh, frolic is something different altogether.
Yeah.
But they also do the other thing.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I do. Quite a bit, all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, constantly. Oh man, it's so funny that it was such a just a fun time from start to finish. Um, definitely the funniest thing we've read.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely the funniest thing we've read.
yeah, I can't think of we haven't even really done that much comedy at all. Like we did Hitchhiker's Guide, which is obviously hilarious, but this is funnier for sure. We
Hmm.
haven't done much comedy at all, actually. Um, I really did enjoy it. All of the characters are great, like every single one. Oh, another thing. Um, I thought Rumor conceptually is a really cool and interesting character. He's
Yeah,
never explained, but he's a character that doesn't need an explanation. You know as much about him as you need to. Um, he is blatantly and explicitly a like plot device that moves things along. He's the narrator. Or no, he's not the narrator, but he's rumor. He's an instrument. He's Moore's hand. Like in a which is a interesting thing to do. I've done something similar like that with one of my books where there's a character who is a direct like agent of the author. Um, and I like that concept. He doesn't have to have any more backstory. You don't need to know anything else about him. Also, he's like not even there. He's just like a shell. Like he's
yeah,
he's closed. He's disembodied clothes, basically.
yeah. I loved when the fairy opened up his cape and there's like nothing there, and she's like, that's disturbing."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're talking about are there tongues on the inside of the pants too? And and Peasbottom's like, I want them. Let me have them. Yeah, them taking his hat is so funny. I love the fairies. The fairies were so good. Um, they're just so that's accurate to like what I want from fairies.
They have like a level of innocence to them, but they're just so out there.
Yeah, they're like there's like a childlike aspect to them where it's like they're eternally young. They're like they are mischievous. They never that's the interesting thing about fairies in folklore is it's like well they're ancient and they live forever, but they never seem to like mature or evolve.
I mean, the
Mhm.
joke in that is 900, are they 900 or are they 7?
Yeah, they're not very good at counting.
I was going to say too, you don't really know because they can't count very well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who's
so, I
your
mean,
oh.
I was going to say, like, she said 900 years old, but maybe she's just 9 days old or something. I don't know.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that. It could yeah, also actually, you know what's funny is I didn't know we were gonna like I didn't really think about how this universe works too much because you know you're kind of focused on just the witty banter. But now that we're talking about it, they say that Puck and Titania would go on these adventures, and there's like a time dilation thing going on where it's like they're gone for a long time, but
Yeah.
they're only
But
gone.
they're just like, yeah.
Yeah. So that just what you were saying about the how we really don't know how old the fairies are. That's what it made me think of is well, I guess you know time doesn't really work in a linear way or like make sense in the story at all.
Right. But I mean, you take into the fact that this is all a fantasy world, a dream altogether, anything's, everything's up in the air with it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes me think too about, and I'm glad you said that about Midsummer Night's Dream also, because that makes me think about you know, there are certain books that I'll read like you have like your epic fantasy like Tolkien or um George Martin where it's like it's this huge expanded universe where even if you don't understand all the moving pieces, you kind of have faith that the author does. Like it feels like a window into another world. Um,
Mhm.
Now, then you have like that. That's why I would call like epic fantasy. Then you have books like Wizard of Oz or Alice in Wonderland, where it feels like the exact opposite of that. It feels like the only thing that exists is what you're looking at. Like it's just a blank canvas, except for what you're currently. You don't feel like there's a whole world with moving pieces that you're getting a glimpse into. You feel like exactly what you're being shown is all that there is. It's very small. Um,
Mhm.
and those are largely the reason it feels that way is because, like, you know, whether it's Wizard of Oz or Alice in Wonderland, largely what those books are is the writing style. It's a lot of wordplay. So, you know, you don't feel like someone's trying to explain a universe to you. You think they're trying to tell a very specific, tell a story a very specific way using specific words. And that's like, anyway, Midsummer Night's Dream and Shakespeare for Squirrels kind of fall in that category for me, where it's like, and you put it well that it's like it's a dream. It's like, well, none of this makes any sense because all that is here is what's on the page. There is nothing there's nothing else happening outside of the scope of what you're reading.
Mhm.
You have a favorite character, David?
So you're talking almost like a pocket dimension or a pocket world.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind
Yeah, Pocket World. Um,
I mean, obviously Pocket, but that's kind of too easy. But if I was gonna branch off of him, it would be let me see. I mean, honestly, you guys already named the two best ones. Because everybody else is kind of more like a bit character.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I usually
But
don't. My favorite characters tend to not be the main characters,
but in this one,
but
yeah.
this one, I mean, Pocket is for me. It's his sarcasm. He's so witty, and he's just yeah. I love sarcasm, obviously. So, um, but all the other characters, they have their charm as well. With Drool and what's his name, Bottom, and
Yeah,
Gritch. I
well,
like Gritch a lot too. The
but
goblin.
Oh
oh yeah,
yeah.
no, Grish was pretty cool.
Um,
Especially the whole
Some
yeah,
Silva.
and he doesn't even know what he's asking or like what he's
Yeah.
offering.
He just heard that. He just
it
heard that.
sometimes works.
Yeah.
So like has he been given the silver and then what? He just runs away with it? He just
Well,
scurries away.
Yeah.
what I imagine is one of the other goblins told him that this happened. You say this, and sometimes you do get something, and so he's like, "Well, I'll give it a shot."
Yeah. 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 There's so many good characters.
Um, and was it Moth? I think it was Moth when they were in Oberon's harem and they got shaved, and Moth was like worried about climbing the trees.
Yeah. They shaved my bits.
And I was like, oh, well, I never thought about it that way, but yeah, that would be a bit of a concern
Yeah.
if you were a squirrel.
Right. They shaved my bits. I kept the razor. Uh, yeah. It's like what was the other fairy? The one that fall is I think is it Moth? Which one ends
Well,
up with the monkey?
I think Moth ended up with the
Yeah,
monkey, I believe.
I think it's Moth too.
Yeah. And it was
Peasbottom
like,
was the really dumb one.
okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, she was good at bargaining with, because she was like doing something with Gritch, and they were. So yeah, I can't remember I don't know if they went into conversation what they said, but that's what Cobweb said.
Yeah. I remember I like when uh it's on it's one of those he'll do like callbacks to jokes. Like he'll make it more will make a joke and then repeat the joke throughout the story, but like with a different spin, which is
Hmm.
that's really clever the way he does that. Um but the way the joke starts is it's like you shagged a squirrel and he's like she's not a squirrel all the time.
Right.
And then later on, it's Jeff and Moth, and it's like you can't be with Jeff. He's a monkey, and she goes, not all the time. He's like, yes, all the time. I really like that part.
Uh,
um, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. I was trying to remember something, but I can't right now. Go ahead.
Um, yeah. The way the story moved was actually like it's like, I'm here for the humor, but I am actually engaged enough with the story that I like want to know what happens also. Like, I think that's an interesting balance to be able to pull both of those things off. Whereas like like I keep referencing Hitchhiker's Guide because that's the most like the closest thing I can reference. That but like Hitchhiker's Guide is one joke after another, like this was, but there's so little to hold on to that you don't really know where it's going or like what's going to happen. Whereas this is like it has like a followable story. Um, like and I wouldn't you'd have to be a fool to like try and predict where this wild ride is headed, but you can follow it. Like there's like a what'd you say? You understand where the characters are and what they're going to do at all times.
Pretty much. And if you're already familiar with Midsummer's Night Dream, then you kind of know
Yeah.
some of the stuff that's going to happen. You may not, obviously, not know everything. And I liked how they've turned it into a mystery, a murder mystery.
Yeah. 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 In the afterword, he talked about how Puck had to die.
Oh, yeah, I read that too.
Yeah, because he can't have Pocket and Puck. Like that's just too much.
Yeah, they're like the same archetype.
Yeah. Um, I like
And you
when
always have Lena and Hermia, so you don't need Pocket and Puck.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's another reason is that would be too confusing.
I mean, yeah, even the name's similar.
There's also he did some stuff. One of the things I thought was interesting was Theseus, because
Hmm.
Theseus is this Greek hero, and he kind of treated him well. It's like a this is like a blasphemic take on Theseus. It's like he's such a hero, and he did not present him that way. It's one of those like never meet your heroes kind of things, where it's like he's actually kind of a coward. He's kind of like very self-centered, and it's like that's a it's kind of bold of him to make that uh to present Theseus that way. I felt
Hmm.
not that I'm particularly offended, but is I just thought it was interesting thing to do. That's kind of an edgy thing to do.
I
Well,
mean,
I also felt like with Hippolyta, I think that's how you say her name, the Amazon queen.
Oh yeah, Hippolyta. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, Hippolyta. Um, I thought it was an interesting take on her too, because if you think about it, if it was like a real life situation, you have this Amazon queen that had been defeated by this king, and even though they're getting married, and I mean, chances are they're not going to be in love with each other, and if he's taking all your weapons away and won't, yeah, I think there would be a lot of resentment. So if it was a true story, no, I think she would be like that. I think she would be, I want out of here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he even says that she was a spoil of war.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And how they portrayed Oberon and Titania was very interesting as well.
oh, they did.
Yes.
They did. Oberon was the biggest fraud.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. They thought he
Moon,
brought
give
them.
you the moon.
Yeah. Just because the what were they, goblins?
Goblins, yeah. I mean, they weren't too bright either.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb. The goblins are great. I really like the fairies. That's a it made me actually want to explore more like stories with fairies because I've read a few books. The one that comes to mind is there's a book series I really like. The first one's called Name of the Wind, and um, I can't remember the author's name, but it presents fairies in a similar way, where fairies are they have certain laws and rules, but they are nonsensical to people, and they can be whimsical, but they can also be very dark. Um, and their rules tend to be centered around playing games, like the results of certain types of contests.
Mhm.
Um, but it did make me want to read more fairy stuff. I think fairy lore is really interesting. Um, but Moore's take on fairies I thought was really cool. Just the way he presented them. Even the spin where they're squirrels. Do you guys remember, was that a curse? Or are they just like that without an explanation?
I think they're just like that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they're just like that.
Okay. They just turn into squirrels. All right.
Yeah,
Because
but
I
I
know they're
wonder.
not allowed to dance, but that's not like that's
But that
just
was
a
because of Oberon, right?
yeah. Yeah. So okay, so the squirrel thing has nothing to do with that then. Okay.
But I did like how, in order to catch all the fairies that were in the harem, they had to wait till daytime when they were squirrels
Yeah.
because they wouldn't just leave.
Yeah. I like that I like that Cobweb goes with them at the end.
Uh-huh.
That was sweet. Um I do like Pocket and Cobweb together.
Yeah, because I thought they were gonna do the whole bit of, all right, I'm off to my next adventure, and then everybody stays behind or whatever.
Yeah. That's such a like a way that like a film would end.
Hmm.
Is like it was just a day in the life and now we're on to the next thing. But it's like no, she's a part of this greater story now, whatever
Yeah.
he decides to do next. Which I mean, who knows? There might be another Pocket story. I didn't see whether or not he had one planned. I did see that this is the last one he's written in that
Mhm.
with these characters.
I, it felt like he was leaving it open to do another one.
Yeah,
Um, but no, I did not look further to see if he ever
yeah,
did do another one or not. So
Yeah, definitely open though, and especially if he's already made three.
yeah. I would be interested to maybe we do the rest of this series at some point for book club because I would be interested to go back and read Fool and the second one. Um,
the
if it's
Serpent of
any,
Venice. Mhm.
yeah, if it's anything like this one.
Right. I don't know necessarily what Fool is in reference to in the Shakespeare book, but like obviously the Serpent of Venice would probably have a lot of references to the Merchant of Venice. So then I wonder if we should
Oh,
also read like the Shakespeare to go with it.
oh, okay.
Or
Interesting.
or at the very least, like some type of something to catch us up with.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
maybe
like
watch
you
like a
may
play
not
of
have
it.
to. Yeah, like with this, you may or may not have been able. Have to read Midsummer's Night Dream, but I felt like it gave you a better grasp of what's going on in the story if you were familiar with it. Um,
yeah.
so I'm kind of thinking maybe with the other books, we might have to read the Shakespeare that
Hmm.
is tied to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll see. Um, yeah, I guess the first thing to do would be see what books. Do you know which book Fool references?
I don't know offhand, but I guess we can research that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Well,
King Lear.
King
King
Lear.
Lear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah, I've
Um,
not read King Lear. I remember in high school trying to read The Merchant of Venice, and it was just me trying to read on my own. It wasn't with the teacher or anything, but it was too much for a high school student to take on by herself. So
yeah.
uh,
Even even Midsummer Night's Dream was a task.
it was, and I had gotten me a copy that had like the modern translation with it, and that helped me a lot. You know.
Oh yeah, me too. Would have been completely lost without that. Yeah. It's very it's very dialogue heavy, obviously, because it's a play. So, I mean, it's almost entirely dialogue. Um, and it's like it's old world dialogue. So it's like, yeah, without a translation, it's basically a different language. Like I'd absolutely need a translation for that.
Yes.
And then once you understand what they're saying, looking at it, looking at the actual original dialogue does give you that it's like, oh well, that's a really beautiful way of saying that if I understand what it is that you're trying to tell me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit better. It's like I would try to read the Shakespeare first and then read the English, well, modern English to see if I was right. And most of the time I was pretty close,
Mm.
but there were times I was way off. I was like, well, it's a darn good thing I had the translation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought he also did a good job of like while this is uh the third in a series of books with these characters, he catches you up right at the beginning. He lets you know everything you need to know, like about where they've been and who these characters are from the onset of the story. So it's while I would be interested to go back and read them, it's not like we really missed anything. It's a
Right.
contained story.
Mhm.
Right. Like I would love to see what happened his time with the pirates kind of thing.
Yeah,
But it wasn't important for this particular story.
right.
So, you know.
Yeah, we already know everything we need to know about Pocket. Like he was with pirates. There's like a an old flame from a previous book. Like
Mhm.
they set you
That
up and
somehow
let
betrays him. Yeah.
yeah. It's like that is all established early on. So it's not like you're lost, like, wait, what's going on? Who are these characters? They He establishes all of that really right at the beginning.
The only way you're lost is because you're trying to figure out what's going on with the puck and who killed him
Which is like the
Yeah.
and
more
all that.
important. That's the more important thing, like the investigation or like because it's also kind of like a noir type of book or whatever,
Yeah.
like a murder mystery thing.
Hmm. Christopher, I've read like four books of his, I think, altogether, and he does have this way of like you have all these random things happening in the story, and at first you're just kind of like, okay, well, what does this have to do with that, and what does that have to do with that other thing? But then he has a great way of bringing it all together, and you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I remember like I gave up at a certain point trying to predict what was going to happen just because it's like, oh, I am totally at his mercy. I'm along for the ride. Like
Yes.
there's no telling what's gonna happen next.
I mean, I never thought that they were going to bring Puck back to life.
Yeah.
That was a total
Actually,
360 for me.
actually the what was that's funny you say that. The subverting expectation thing for me was I thought Puck would have like was playing a trick and
Uh-huh.
and was never dead in the first place, but that's not what happened. He did die. They
Hmm.
did bring him back, but it's not the way I thought it would be, which was
Right.
which was like, oh, it was all a prank. He's been pranking everyone. It's no, he actually did die, but they brought him back through the magic of the
Frolicking.
yeah, for through the frolicking.
They frolic the Puck.
Yeah. I think Rumor is actually a character I would like to see more of. If he writes more books, I would like to see more of Rumor. Um, because I'm kind of just fascinated by that character conceptually. It's a really cool idea for a character. I like the kind of like the Deus Ex Machina kind of like reminding you that you're reading a book. Like, hey, this is fiction. This is
Hmm.
fantasy. Like this the what is it? It's like a breaking of the fourth wall. It's like
Yes.
he is aware that he is part of a narrative, and I like that. I think that's an interesting thing to do with narrative. It's also kind of cheap, right? It's like a it's what would you say? It can be lazy. Um, you could look at it that way too, but I think it's fun.
I mean, I think it's especially fine for like something like this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're not if you're taking it seriously, you're reading the wrong book. So yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to remember my mafia crime story, but
sure, sure, yeah. No, that's a good point. It depends what kind of story we're doing here.
but
Um,
a fantasy comedy, it just, I mean, you got goblins, you got fairies. Why not a rumor with
yeah,
wagging tongues?
yeah. That's there's a book that I'm almost finished with, um, that I've been writing for like better part of a decade. And there's a part where it just whenever I encountered rumor in this book, it reminded me of this thing I had been doing with narrative. And basically it's the protagonist has like a soliloquy prayer kind of thing. And
Okay.
um, his prayer is addressed to me, like the author. It's a very like it's like a converse. It's I mean I'm kind of having like a conversation with myself, and um, I like that kind of like doing that kind of stuff with stories. So yeah, any all that to say, I would like to see more of Rumor. I'm also curious to see if Rumor shows up in his earlier works. I don't think so.
I would think not. They seem so surprised, like not Puck, Pocket
Yeah.
seems very surprised when he first meets him. So
Hmm.
it it seemed like that was a very much a first meeting.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, and I guess while we're on Pocket, yeah, his design is pretty great. He's got the tongue of many hats that they steal and becomes their personal plaything.
Yeah, that part's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was. The one fairy she goes that sits on. She's like, "You got to try this out."
Oh, one of my other favorite parts is Bottom. He's like he's sad. He's like an Eeyore character,
Oh,
and
I didn't think about it that way, but yeah.
he oh bother. He's, he's all sad, and he's like, look at the bright side. Your knob is huge. He's like, it's true. I'm so sad, and my knob is huge.
I like how visual Christopher Moore is in his writing. And one of my favorite scenes is when not Nick, Pocket threw his dagger at one of the soldiers, and like the tip of the dagger only went in maybe about an inch or two into his butt, and he's
Yeah,
like trying to get it off, but it's just wagging back and forth like a happy dog. And
yeah,
yeah. As like just the way he described that just had me cracking up. I could just easily see this little dagger wagging back and forth.
yeah. That is a great way of explaining that, as if it were a tale.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I also particularly like not just the fairies that turn into squirrels, but Titania as well. She's just so like she, she's kind of an airhead like the rest of the fairies. Like she's not very smart, easily manipulated by Pocket. Um, and also I can't remember the way Moore puts it, but he can tell she's lying because her boobs are flushed. He's like, it's easy to see with someone as pale as thee, or something like that.
Yes. That's funny.
Yeah, it was great. Um, yeah, I guess I was shocked at how vulgar it was because it is like pretty out there and like very explicit, which was like I'm not complaining about it. I thought it was hilarious, but that was a shock to me. I didn't expect it to be just that vulgar, you know? Uh,
Yeah. Well, I'm familiar with his writing enough now to know, there's a lot of vulgarness in it. Um, one of the books I read, like he, some of the comedy touches on cannibalism.
oh, okay.
Okay, so it's usually like dark comedy.
Dark, yeah, dark, sarcastic, vulgar. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he,
Maybe
he he
we'll,
is one of my favorite authors.
oh, okay. Well, if we were going to revisit Christopher Moore, would you want to do Fool or would you want to do a different one?
Um, I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion that if we do the other pocketbooks, we probably should need to read the Shakespeare to go along with it.
Okay.
Um, a couple other books I really liked. The one that addresses cannibalism as part of the comedy, at least, is Island of the Sequence Love Nun.
Okay.
Um, and as far as I know, I'd have to research, but I don't think that's necessarily part of a series. So that might be kind of cool to do. And I don't think you have to like read anything before it.
Okay.
Uh, but and I really liked that one. Um, the other one I really, really liked was called Bite Me, but that one is part of a series, and I haven't read the books in front of it, but I want to. It's a vampire series.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And yeah, it's yeah, I was dying, but I realized after I read that there were other books in front of it, but I just never got around to getting those other books and reading it. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll say for sure, let's revisit Christopher Moore. But we'll have to think about and plan which one we want to do.
uh-huh.
Because I'm
So,
definitely interested to read more of his work.
yeah. If we do the Shakespeare, maybe we should do something a little bit more than once a year, just so we can get
Sure.
through them.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise,
Well,
that's like another 4 years
oh
before
yeah,
we get
for the
through
next
those books.
doing it for the next decade, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
Mhm.
it'd be a lot. Yeah, we'll coordinate and figure out what it is we're gonna do with
Hmm.
that. Um, but yeah, I really do like his writing style. I find him really compelling and like it's just it's kind of a breath of fresh air compared to like some of the other stuff we've read recently. Just like very
Yeah.
gritty. Yeah.
What like mass genocide or in Dune?
Yeah, yeah, like oh yeah, yeah, coming off of Dune Messiah right before this. That's kind of a very thematic change.
Yeah, the books I typically read or have the most of is like mystery and horror or romance. So like two extremes there. But I've been trying to branch out and read other things, and Christopher Moore was one of them. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, that's actually a big part of why I started doing this is I almost entirely take other people's recommendations because it makes me like more well-rounded of a reader, you know. Because my wheelhouse is high fantasy. I really
Hmm.
like just I mean, so
Well, then,
this
then this does kind of hit right into that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that definitely like scratches that itch and is
But
also like thematically it's different though. It's just very funny.
yeah, because you're talking more of that Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones,
Yeah. Yeah.
like they're
That's
they're
my
trying to build like a full-on world or like
yes,
is it kind of,
I like that. I do like that kind of high fantasy. I also really like the sort of parable tales like Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of
Mhm.
Oz. The Alchemist is my favorite book ever. Um, but we've specifically held off on doing that one for book club because I'm saving that for a special occasion because that and Alice in Wonderland we're saving. Uh, just because The Alchemist is really important to me. But that falls into the category not like Tolkien, but like Wizard of Oz, where it's like this is allegory, this is parable. It's not an entire world. It's I'm trying to explain a concept, basically. Very like almost like scripture. But like,
Okay.
yeah. Um, but yeah, yeah. I'll definitely read more Alan Moore for sure.
And Christopher Moore.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
No, yeah, that's another more.
Alan Moore is a very different author who I'm also a fan of. Very different. He did V for Vendetta, The Watchmen.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Yeah. He's basically the progenitor of edgy, like dark, gritty Batman. Like prior to Alan Moore, there was not a like serious Batman. Before that, it's all boom pow comic book Batman. Alan Moore basically invented dark, gritty Batman. And that kind of like solidified what Batman is today. Like all the other authors kind of descend from
Mhm.
Alan Moore's Batman. But yeah, he also wrote The Watchmen. He wrote V for Vendetta. Um,
He
very
pretty much
famous.
made comics be taken more seriously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then he retired and moved back to Scotland, and like the last interview, he might have done more after this, but the last one I'm aware of, he said, "I'm retiring and becoming a wizard," and he was
Nice.
like, he said it very seriously. He did not say it like it was a joke. He's an oddball, very interesting guy. Um, but that's Alan Moore. We're talking about Christopher Moore. um, but yes, yeah, we'll do more of him as well. What did we miss? Did we miss anything about Shakespeare for Squirrels?
Uh, do we want to hit on some of the compare and contrast between
Yeah,
Shakespeare and Moore?
yeah, go for it.
Uh, well, one thing I thought was rather interesting, but I'm kind of glad they did. Well, actually, two things. Um, that they killed Demi Demetrius. I did not like his character, you know, and Shakespeare and in Christopher Moore's book. I mean, you know, he's like, "Oh yeah, I love you. Oh no, I love her more. I'm going to go for her. No, I don't like you. I hate you now." You know,
Yeah,
I I kind of like that he died.
yeah, yeah. That's not yeah, yeah. He's awful. He's awful in both works. Agreed.
And
They're all
then
kind of awful. All four of them are kind of awful.
yeah, yeah. But I feel for Helena. You know,
Yeah,
you know, yeah,
she's the
she needs
most
to get over.
sympathetic.
She need to get over him. He wasn't worth her time. But yeah, I don't know. I guess sometimes the heart wants what it wants. But you know,
Yeah, she's the most sympathetic of the four.
but but I loved when she found out that what's his name? Herminia's dad was responsible for Demetrius' death.
Mm.
That she turned around and stabbed stabbed him on top of the head.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was great.
And and even Pocket was like, "Well, no, what's the term? Like no wilting, no philia here, or something like that."
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, she stabbed him in the top of the head.
And I imagine, not that I ever tried, but I would imagine that's an easy thing to do, even with a really sharp knife.
In the very, well, it's funny we're talking about this, but in the very back, like back here,
Uh-huh.
that's where like because a baby's skull is
Oh, yeah.
three different plates. So in the very back center, that's where the three plates meet. So if you were hypothetically, don't try this at home. This is not legal advice. But if you were going to, that'd probably be the best spot to do it. Or in the temples, right? Like in the side of the head.
Well,
But
the way they described it, I just imagine she just,
yeah, the straight through the skull. That's what I imagined too. Yeah.
and I think, yeah, I think the whole point was that the skull is like one of the hardest places to
Mm,
pierce, and that she's that mad enough that she just,
yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like it's not even close to a retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream because it goes off the rails immediately. Like Puck's not shooting arrows. There's no Cupid stuff going on. It
well, for
is,
Puck one to die, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. There's no like love quadrangle. It's all like it's a completely different story that borrows some of the same story points and characters, but more just absolutely went off the rails and told his own story with this one. Um, yeah, I guess the closest thing was maybe there's some thematical similarities where it's like
mhm.
I do think he has a really good grasp of Shakespeare. Like he obviously understands Shakespeare very well. Um, and I think that probably maybe he is adapting like okay, well, for a modern audience, let me do something Shakespeare-esque, especially
Right.
since, it's not even so much oh, let's talk about this. I'm getting sidetracked, but um they was it in the afterword? Yeah, it's in the afterword. He's no, it's not. It's when the mechanicals are writing the play and they write Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
and he shits
Oh,
all over Romeo and Juliet. He basically is like, this story sucks. Like he goes in on it for a minute or like he goes on and on about why Romeo and Juliet is not a good story and is just making fun of it the whole time, which is again like Moore's taking the piss out of Shakespeare for a minute, like a hot minute. He just keeps going on and on about how much he doesn't like Romeo and Juliet, which I thought was interesting.
I did catch on to in this book how there are references to other Shakespeare stories like Romeo and Juliet, but also the play at the end is just like from Hamlet.
mm.
Well, obviously the play is not exactly the same because it's a different story, but
Yeah, but
just
it's
like,
like the bits
but
and
the
pieces.
using the story to root out the killer,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying.
like
I
like they're like using the play as like a political statement.
Right. I didn't think about that. Um, I know a little bit about Hamlet, mostly from other adaptations like Lion King and
right?
uh, ironically the FX series Sons of Anarchy,
Oh,
So
which is based on Hamlet, if you
just
didn't
so you
know.
there's
get
a
the just to get for you to get the gist of it, Alex. He pretty much does a play where he's like, okay, Matt. Okay, so you said you did Lion King, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm familiar with the base. Like it's the ghost of his father, the
the uncle
stepfather.
does it,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like imagine if like he imagine a play where he's exposing his uncle in the play, like calling him out,
Oh, okay. So
like,
at
oh,
the
I know what happened, and blah, yeah,
Okay, so
and
at
yeah,
the end, that's straight up Hamlet. Yeah, see, that went over my head. I didn't get that. That's
yeah.
interesting.
You might be. There was a movie. I guess it was in the '90s. It came out. It had Mel Gibson playing Hamlet. Helen Bonham Carter's in it, and there was a bunch of other people. I just can't remember who they all. But it's they were doing Hamlet, and they're doing it in the Elizabethan English as well. So, and as far as I
Interesting.
know, it's pretty much just like the book, for much as I can tell.
That's interesting. Mel Gibson as Hamlet.
Uh-huh. And Helen
Okay.
Bonham Carter's Ophelia.
Okay. That's a great cast. I gotta see that.
I think it came out in the 90s. So yeah, it's a bit older now, but
I like both of them a lot. They're both very good actors.
hmm
Helena Bonham Carter.
there's like so there's other people I just can't remember who they were, but Glenn Close plays the mom.
Hmm.
She
Okay,
plays Hamlet's mom.
that's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, yeah, you'll definitely have to so you can catch on to the reference to that because he's using the play to expose them for what they did.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's all I had for Shakespeare for Squirrels. Anything else? No rush or any. We're not like pressed for time or anything. I've kind of exhausted what I wanted to talk about.
My only last bit is I really liked how the very ending was kind of like a critique of power because everyone who was in a position of power was just kind of they were all frauds.
Oh
Mm.
yeah. Yeah. Not only were they bad leaders, but they were also frauds. They're like all doing some kind of like sleight of hand lie.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Every single one, now that you pointed out, they all did that.
And not only that, they're frauds that needed each other.
They're frauds that need each other, and the lie they're telling is the crux of their rule. So if they lose that, they lose the whole, it's a house of cards. The whole thing comes tumbling down if
Yeah.
they're exposed. That's really interesting. It's funny to think about this book on like a serious analytical level because it's so funny. But there is like some stuff going on here worth talking about.
Yeah, and like how there's a point where he says like, "Oh, I could have just taken Drool and left." But then if he did, then the mechanicals would like I guess end up dying or all those other people were going to be in trouble. So he had to stay and kind of help
Yeah.
them out.
He's an unlikely hero, but he is a hero.
And what's it? Like I had something now. I kind of forgot what it was.
It's okay. We can come back to it. Yeah. While I'm thinking of it, Pocket is kind of a hero in a way, you know. I don't know if he would describe himself that way, but some of his actions are heroic. But also, he is a fool, which affords him certain liberties. Uh, like that kind of position is a powerful position. The way he's able to like bend all of these kings and queens' ears. Um, there's like a certain amount of respect and admiration for the fool. Um, that's what it, oh, it's what is it that called? Jester's privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's it's the only person allowed to make fun of the king, you know. Um,
I think that was what I was going to mention earlier was like along those lines was when Pocket was with Oberon and like they're sitting down at the table to eat and how Pocket just kind of makes himself at home, you know,
yeah, yeah,
and
he's at home everywhere. Yeah,
and he's getting on Oberon's nerves, but but it's just kind of funny. It's like he knows how to play the kings and queens. He's got the experience to know how to do that.
yeah. I like when he introduces himself. He's like pocket of dog snogging, one time king. It's like part of his title. So I guess probably he was a king in one of the earlier books for a short period of time.
Maybe that's what the reference to King Lear is.
Okay. Um, did we miss anything else?
I think I'm looking forward to reading the previous books because I think I really would like to see more of the interaction between Drool and Jeff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Because it's
Jeff is
just
barely in this one. Jeff's at
uh-huh.
the beginning and he comes back at the end, but for most of the story, he's missing. So yeah, and same thing with Drool actually. Drool's in jail most of the time. So
Yeah, but they were probably bigger in the first two.
yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. I would like to see more of those characters as well. Um,
Because you get the sense that they don't like each other, but right there from the beginning of the story on the boat.
yeah.
So I would love to see the antagonism in the other books because I'm sure it was there.
I
Yeah, but
remember there's
no,
one
go on.
part where Pocket is getting on the cobweb about calling Peasbottom simple and like making fun of her. And she was saying, but you make fun of Drool all the time. And he's like, that's not my friend, that's my apprentice.
That's different.
That's different. Uh, Drool is absolutely worthy of being made fun of also. He's awful. He's like openly masturbating in front of people. He's very simple, much like the fairies.
Oh, what was it? Mustard Seed took Pocket's cod piece and was so
Yeah,
happy to have that.
yeah. What was the thing with oh, that's right. The guy who killed Puck returning the silver because he felt guilty about it. And they have this whole thing about even though they love silver, it has to be given.
Well,
Um,
Gritch said that because the silver belonged to his friend that Oberon had killed.
yeah. Okay.
And it's
Okay.
like, and Pocket, so well, why don't you just take that? He goes, I can't because he didn't give it to me.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, even I like the fairies more, but the goblins have some interesting lore implications going on as well. Like sort
Hmm.
of the way they operate is cool. That's an interesting presentation of goblins.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, you only really know Gritch. You don't really know the others that well.
Yeah,
But
they're all identical, right? Except for certain like flair, like
Yeah,
certain.
yeah.
he mentions that he couldn't even tell sex apart.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're like straight up identical. Okay.
Like
Inter-
all he could notice were that some of them were bigger, some of them were smaller. So he assumed the bigger ones were warriors, the smaller ones were like workers or something.
okay.
Like like that's the only
Yeah,
thing he could tell.
he said he couldn't tell if they were like women or men, or it's like if they were women, they look either they
Okay.
didn't have women or just couldn't tell that they were women. So
Yeah. Um, I guess my biggest takeaway is just like the moment to moment dialogue was super good.
Hmm.
Um, it made it never boring. I really just I had a good time from start to finish. It didn't feel like so. I mean, we've read shorter books that were a drag. You know, I never felt like it dragged at all. It was
Hmm.
entertaining the entire time, and I wasn't. At no point was I like, okay, let's wrap this up. It was, in fact, I want more, right? Like I want more of this author. So, thanks again for the recommendation. I
I'm
really,
glad you liked it.
yeah, absolutely. I'm a fan now. I will read more and more.
More and more.
Okay.
um, anything else?
Can't think of much. So
Okay. Going once, going twice. Sold. That was Christopher Moore's Shakespeare for Squirrels. We'll definitely revisit him in the future. Next month, we are reading Neil Gaiman's Coraline. It'll be a shorter book
Oh.
than this one. You are obviously more than welcome to join us for that too. I'll let you know when we end up doing that. That's a short read. I've never read it, but I know the page count's really short.
I mean, you said Coraline. I mean, I've seen the movie,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
so
Yes.
but I heard that the book was a lot darker than the movie.
That's what I've heard too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do a movie podcast as well, where we talk about movies, and we did Coraline for the movie podcast last month. And
Okay.
the way that conversation went, it's like, okay, we need to all read the book now because
Yeah.
there's a lot more to talk about here. So I'll let you know when we end up doing that. You're obviously more than welcome to join us.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Work might get a little busy, but I'll see if I can make it. So
Yeah. Thanks again for this recommendation. I really enjoyed this. I liked it a lot more than A Midsummer Night's Dream. I think a big part of that is the time, right? It's hard to read Shakespeare. It's difficult.
yes, it is.
But I really liked Shakespeare for Squirrels. Not at all what I was expecting. I didn't know what exactly I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
Well, there wasn't much I could tell you without giving away the
Sure.
story.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it other than it's funny and quirky and just out there, and
Yeah.
totally unexpected. But to really give people a sense, you're just going to have to read his stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if I start talking about examples, well, then I start revealing too much of the story.
Yeah. That
So,
makes sense.
Well,
so
after you if you're watching at home, after you stop watching this, go hop on Amazon and pick up a copy of Black and Blue by Miss Claudia Ann Knight. And you want to tell people a little bit about that? That's romance.
yeah, it's a romance. It's a romance about a rock band.
Okay.
I I really like a lot of rock music, and I read a lot of romances, and I felt like that was a group of people that was never identified in romances, and usually gets like a negative connotation from it from a lot of authors. Granted, not all the time. There's always exceptions to the rules, but yeah, I mean, your typical heroes are like the CEO president, or a medieval knight, or the Bridgertons, things like that. Um, and so I wanted to write something that I would want to read,
Yeah.
and I wanted to hit on an unlikely romance lead being a rock star.
Mm.
And so I have my muses, but when people ask me, like, who I had in mind, it's like, I really want it to be whoever you want it to be. When I start talking about the music, like, oh, who does it sound like? I'm like, well, it's whoever you want it to sound like. I don't
Sure.
want to take that away from the reader. I want it to be who they want it to be. Um, Black and Blues, of course, the first one I wrote. Um, a big part of the story ends up in high school. I didn't mean for it to be quite that long in high school, but I had to set up the history of the main characters.
Yeah.
And I have written more since then. Just still trying to get things edited, and my editor has been busy. So, and I'm self-published, so also I got to get the money raised up so I can publish
Sure.
again. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but the biggest thing right now is getting editing. I'm hopefully in the last editing stage, but I have a lot of humor in my stories too. I don't think my stories are deep per se. Um, but I just think they're a nice, light, fun read. And maybe I'll get you to think about things in certain ways that you might not have thought of before, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I've had men and women tell me that they've enjoyed the story, and I was like, well, that's cool,
Yeah. And I understand it's like asking an author to talk about their book is like, well, I already said everything that I wanted to say in the work. If I wanted to say more, I would have said that. So asking me to clarify or explain, I know that's a difficult question. That being said, I think you did a really good presentation just
Oh,
now of it.
well, thank you. Try
Yeah.
not to give away too much either in case you wanted to, but try to give you enough so that you got some idea of what
Right.
what you would be walking into if you do read it. So,
Yeah. I guess
um,
I understand talking about that kind of thing is a tightrope. So I think you did a good job working through that.
so
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you again for
Cool.
having me.
Of course. Anytime. David, do you want to plug anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, check out Knife Back on Instagram. David's a very talented visual artist. He's done a lot of sculptures, paintings, and um, various other visual arts. A lot of it in this room. But yeah, and there's
Here's a little
a
guy.
oh,
Ah, it's
oh,
cute.
is that one new?
I made it while we were doing this episode.
You just
Oh,
did that?
Yeah, so
that's cool.
here's the cool part. So you put this on him, a saddle,
Aw,
and
Oh,
then
it's
wait,
like
wait for it.
Yoshi.
Then he can hold pencils.
Oh shit. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
That's so cool. Well,
now I want one.
David doesn't particularly do commissions, but if you're watching this and you want stuff, I'm sure he'll make one for you. Just hit him up on Instagram. Um, yeah, and there will be a new rabbit hole episode up tomorrow. If you're watching this live, um, David Estes and David Michael Estes and David Michael Sturm were both on that episode. So it's the David Michael episode, and that'll go up tomorrow. And yeah,
Nice.
catch us next month for the Coraline Book Club, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.